The arrival into stillness is not abrupt, but a gentle settling, like dust motes finding their final resting place in the air. Here, in this modest enclosure beside the dwelling, the world outside seems to recede, leaving only the immediate, palpable silence. The light is the first messenger of the morning, no longer harsh or demanding, but fragmented and softened by the foliage above, creating a living tapestry of movement that is itself a form of quietude. To watch the slow crawl of illumination across the rough texture of a garden wall or the smooth plane of a single leaf is to be given a gift of unhurried time. This space is defined by its adjacency, its domestic scale offering a sense of protection and belonging, a small, natural room tethered to the larger existence of the home. The boundaries are close, reassuring the eye that this is a private world, a pocket of calm meticulously preserved against the rush of days. Every element holds its breath, waiting for the hour to pass without disturbance, allowing the atmosphere to deepen into a profound, unassuming peace. The air is dense with the feeling of being undisturbed, a quiet, almost sacred pocket where one can simply observe the quality of the light as it changes its mind about the shape of the shadows. The narrow passage along the flank of the home acts as a corridor of contemplation, a strip of deliberate quietude bordered by the solidity of the house on one side and the dense, living enclosure on the other. This is a place where space is measured not in meters, but in the depth of the atmosphere it holds. The light, now nearing its evening descent, washes over the scene with a long, golden, melancholy clarity, drawing out the subtle textures of stone and bark. It is a light that asks for nothing, simply observing the enduring state of things. The domesticity of the space is key. It is not a wilderness, but a curated corner, maintained in a state of tranquil neglect that allows the natural world to feel welcome yet contained. The quiet is textural, made up of the absorbent surfaces of the earth and the heavy air of an approaching dusk. The scene speaks of a comfortable seclusion, the garden existing as an extension of the calm within the walls, a breathing room for the spirit. Every line, every shadow, contributes to the sense of enclosure and protection, a gentle embrace against the vastness of the outside world, inviting a prolonged, meditative gaze. The presence of water, even in this small, contained measure, introduces a new dimension to the stillness of visual quiet that is also an auditory absence. The surface is a mirror of the moment, catching the remnants of the day's light and holding them in a fragile, ephemeral reflection. The surrounding space feels intensely private, the dense, dark green foliage acting as a screen, concentrating the atmosphere into a singular point of focus. This is not a grand display, but a humble detail within the residential boundary, a nod to the elemental presence within a human space. The light, now weak and elongated, paints the scene in muted tones, deepening the sense of repose. It is the time when the garden begins its nightly retreat, and the lingering warmth gives way to a calming coolness. The frame is tight, encouraging the eye to dwell on the subtle interplay between the light, the water, and the dark, quiet bulk of the earth. This intimate view grounds the entire landscape, asserting its scale and its sole purpose as a source of private, domestic calm. The view from the patio acts as a formal introduction to the garden's gentle geometry, presenting the space as an extension of the home's calm interior life. The courtyard is clearly defined, its structure a balance between human design and the soft surrender to natural growth. The high midday sun, usually a source of sharp contrasts, is here translated into pools of deep shadow and plains of brilliant, yet tranquil light, emphasizing the textures of the stone underfoot and the solid forms of the retaining walls. There is an almost palpable sense of heat captured in the air, a stillness that comes with the warmest part of the day, where everything seems to pause its usual cycle. The atmosphere is one of profound, yet sun-warmed stillness. This is the heart of the domestic enclosure, a space designed for quiet occupancy, where the very scale dictates intimacy. The wide shot affirms the smallness and the self-containment of this natural pocket, reinforcing the private, non-public nature of the entire scene, inviting a sustained, peaceful observation of the sun's dominion over the quiet space. To zoom in on the edge is to find the quiet heart of the garden's existence, where the human-made structure meets the persistent, subtle advance of the natural world. This is not a detail of grand design, but a moment of quiet, persistent life within the residential boundary. The close-up isolates a small universe of texture and faint color, the light serving to illuminate the minute victories of growth over stone. The low angle elevates this humble junction into a compelling landscape of its own, an assurance that every part of this domestic space holds its own distinct, unhurried atmosphere. The feeling is one of profound stillness, the kind that accompanies an incredibly focused observation. The shallow depth of field further enhances the intimacy, blurring the periphery to draw the eye only to the quiet conversation between the brick and the moss. It speaks volumes of the inherent peace in small, contained environments, a silence so deep it seems to absorb all sound and movement from the world beyond. The overcast light transforms the garden into a study in hushed tones, where shadows are soft suggestions rather than stark declarations. This front yard space, though adjacent to the street, is clearly an enclosed, private realm, its mood set by the cool palette of the foliage and the deep, rich texture of the fence that guards its borders. The wide angle encompasses the entire mood of quiet retreat, showing how the domestic setting can create its own pocket of deep atmosphere. There is a sense of waiting in the air, a profound stillness characteristic of a day without direct sun. The garden feels dense, contemplative, and entirely self-contained. The mood is inherently calm, a visual solace derived from the muted colors and the absence of sharp contrast. It is a space designed for looking inward, where the scale remains firmly residential and intimate, offering a peaceful, prolonged gaze into the soft depths of the green enclosure. The curve of the path introduces a soft, visual movement to the stillness, a gentle invitation deeper into the residential garden's embrace. The pathway is clearly designed for a small, contained journey, its dimensions reinforcing the intimate scale of the space. The light of the late afternoon permeates the scene with a warm, pervasive glow, filtering through the dense canopy to illuminate the worn texture of the stone. This golden hour light is particularly effective at highlighting the tranquil, enclosed nature of the side garden, where the height of the surrounding plants creates a sense of profound seclusion. The medium shot perfectly balances the detail of the immediate path with the atmosphere of the surrounding enclosure. It is a scene of deep, comforting quiet, the space feeling held and protected by the proximity of the dwelling. The atmosphere is one of contemplative warmth, a perfect visual representation of peace found in domestic scale and gentle light. The focus tightens on the conversation between light and structure, a classic drama played out in the private theater of the residential courtyard. Here, the raw power of the afternoon sun is tamed by the small scale of the enclosure, transforming into distinct, sharp lines of light and shadow that define the wall's texture and the vine's delicate form. This close detail shot emphasizes the micro-atmosphere of the space, showing how the stillness is magnified in these contained moments. The light is a structural element, not just an illuminator, carving out the quiet dimensions of the home's adjacent space. The feeling is one of intense focus and concentrated peace, the eye drawn into the subtle, unmoving interplay of elements. This is a study in texture and contrast, where the sense of domestic seclusion is reinforced by the way the high walls hold the heat and the light in a suspended moment of quiet repose. The atmosphere of the misty morning lends a profound softness to the entire scene, blurring the edges of the small back garden and deepening the sense of intimacy and enclosure. The low hedge acts as a quiet boundary, containing the stillness within the immediate residential domain. The light is diffused, a gentle, ambient glow that illuminates the space without casting harsh shadows, contributing to a mood of deep calm and absolute repose. The wide shot, taken from a low perspective, allows the viewer to absorb the full, unhurried expanse of this domestic sanctuary. The damp air seems to absorb all external noise, creating a visual and atmospheric representation of silence. This is a moment of pure, uninterrupted contemplation, where the scale remains firmly small, belonging entirely to the quiet life of the home it adjoins, a perfect expression of unhurried, ambient visual peace. The final scene is centered on the point of connection, the quiet, humble threshold that mediates between the home's interior silence and the garden's gentle exterior calm. The frame focuses intensely on the simple stone step, a testament to the daily, unhurried passage between spaces. The light is subtle, filtered, an inviting contrast to the shadow of the doorway, suggesting the atmosphere of the garden is merely a softer, natural extension of the peace found within the walls. This medium shot is rich with the feeling of containment and domesticity, emphasizing the inherent intimacy of the space. It is a visual embodiment of a deep pause, the transition itself a moment of stillness. The composition underscores that this garden is inextricably linked to the home, a calm, curated space that exists in serene partnership with the dwelling, offering a final, lingering impression of profound and contained quietude.